What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant back again. Before we get started, please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe, join the fam as I drop content daily, go live daily. And last but not least, my favorite part, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always interested and intrigued to know what you all think about these topics that we discuss. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into this because there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the one Jaylen Brown, excuse me, the NBA Finals MVP, Easter Conference MVP, Team USA snub. And I'm gonna just talk about that real quick. The Team USA snub is just ridiculous, but once you know that Team USA is essentially um, in cahoots with Nike. And then you find out that Jaylen Brown stood up, and stood with Kyrie Irving back when Kyrie Irving was being, criticized for sharing a link to a movie. Jaylen Brown stood with Kyrie, and I can't even tell you exactly what he said, but I vividly remember him, taking Kyrie's side in that situation. And we all know that Nike, or if you didn't know, Nike dropped Kyrie, um, dropped their partnership and brand endorsements and all that stuff with Kyrie because of that situation. And so it was a very weird situation to say the least. But I believe that is the reason why Jaylen Brown and Kyrie are not on Team USA. It's because Team USA is just too deep, and I no pun intended, I guess, but too much in bed with Nike. Of course, Team USA features other athletes that are signed with other companies, as Steph Curry is with Under Armour. Um, they got another person, I want to say, yeah, Kawhi Leonard, I believe he's with Adidas. So, Kawhi Leonard was with Team USA, but he was he ended up deciding not to be with Team USA due to his injuries or the Clippers, some situation. I reported on it, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, Team USA is so far in bed with Nike that Nike, I'm sure, has much influence on who's not on the roster. So unfortunately, that's just what I feel like is going on. Nike, Nike's hidden hand behind the scene. Nobody say it. Actually, Jaylen Brown actually kind of alluded to it when he tweeted out a little while ago talking about calling out Nike for this situation. A lot of people found it odd, but once he said that, it confirmed what I already knew. Seeing that Kyrie Irving was snubbed from the list as well. Um, this is Nike's influence, believe it or not. But nonetheless, um, Jaylen Brown has made some statements about Bronny James, the son of LeBron James, that I would like to just go on record and say that we all agree with. You know what I mean? It's not that what Jaylen Brown said was breaking news. It's not that what he said was untrue. It's just the fact of the matter that the mainstream media, and all of these NBA players included, are acting like they don't see what everybody else sees. And it's not that they don't see it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that these guys don't have the wherewithal to come out and say it publicly. For whatever reason, we all know LeBron James. We make jokes about the media, but we all know LeBron James has a lot of influence in the media. Apparently, a lot of influence in the NBA. And so I guess these guys are a little intimidated by him. They don't want to go against uh, his stubborn streak, I guess. And shout out to Enes Kanter for calling LeBron James out as a dictator. I'm gonna jump into that in another video, but Enes Kanter definitely cooked LeBron James because I wouldn't call LeBron James a dictator per se, but an egomaniac for sure. And this situation right here concerning Jaylen Brown is another example of that. Jaylen Brown was on a video. Nobody knows where this video came from, of course. But you can see Jaylen Brown on a video talking with his girlfriend, the young lady that used to play with my Chicago Sky. Can't recall her name. And she was also with Angel Reese. And Jaylen Brown and his girlfriend were discussing. They was at a summer game, the recent summer game between the Lakers and the Celtics, and Jaylen Brown and his girl were having an exchange of dialogue. And Jaylen Brown said that he doesn't believe LeBron James Jr., Bronny James, aka, is a pro. Something that we've been saying since what his high school days. Definitely since LeBron James made it publicly known that he wants to play with his sons. It immediately put everybody on alert because Bronny James was never that good. We all enjoyed watching him grow up and do his little highlight things on Instagram. But to say that Bronny James was a real NBA player is a stretch of the imagination. So Jaylen Brown definitely stated what everybody else knows, but he's received some backlash from the mainstream media about this because they have been playing protector of Bronny James's image, and it's not because the mainstream really truly believes that Bronny James is a professional athlete themselves. Don't get it twisted. They don't believe that. What they're doing is just milking the name of LeBron James and making as much money off this situation as they can because it's going to hit the fan. All the crap is going to hit the fan. And Bronny James has had a couple decent outings, getting into double digit points. But when you get into, my concern for Bronny James is what are you gonna do when you get the ISO? When Luka calls for an ISO, when Anthony Edwards calls for an ISO, or when SGA calls for an ISO, Bronny James can look as good as he want in the summer leagues, G leagues, but when you get amongst the best of the best, I don't believe that Bronny James is going to have any smoke for those guys. Um, but nonetheless, like Jaylen Brown said, what we all know, Bronny James is not a professional athlete. He's receiving a lot of backlash for it. I've been defending him on NBA Twitter because it's ridiculous. The bronzexuals, man, they're just a very delusional bunch of people, and it's just very difficult to have a basketball conversation with them. One of with some logic laced into it because these dudes are so emotional. And if you say LeBron James' name and it's not singing the highest of the highest praises, they get all twisted and turned. But whatever, again, Jaylen Brown didn't say anything that was breaking news. If you've been watching Bronny James over these years, again, he's had two good games. As of the recording of this video, I was a little late on this particular story, but it's really not much a story to it. Outside of the fact that it confirms what Enos Cantor was saying about LeBron James being a quote unquote dictator. That LeBron James has to control the narratives. I didn't think much of it until Rich Paul was on an interview with Pat McAfee the other day. I'm watching Pat McAfee and this little dude. Rich Paul just looks like uh, for the worst of the better word, excuse my Italian, like a scumbag, man. He just like a little weasel, man. Honestly. Um, and I just don't like Rich Paul, bro. I just don't like him. I ain't gonna lie. It's just something about him. I don't like him. Don't trust him. Kobe didn't like him. I think that's what really, initiated my disdain for Rich Paul. Is that Kobe had a very uh, disgusting perspective of Rich Paul, and I share that. But nonetheless, he was on Pat McAfee, and they were doing an interview and discussing this Jaylen Brown situation. And Rich Paul literally came out of his mouth and said that Jaylen Brown didn't mean what he said. And here's the thing, y'all. Rich Paul of Clutch Sports, we all know he represents LeBron James, Bronny James, amongst other athletes. Jaylen Brown is not one of those dudes on Rich Paul's client list, So this dude is literally just trying to control the narrative. And with him saying that, he's essentially calling Jaylen Brown a liar. He's calling Jaylen Brown a liar. He's calling all of us a liar as well because it's like if you ain't a bronzexual, you probably have said that Bronny James is a good kid, but he's not NBA ready. I think that's been the consensus. Nothing wrong with that. That's not against the law to say. But Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, LeBron James, these dudes just have to control the narrative. So I don't know what made Rich Paul come out of his mouth and essentially call Jaylen Brown a liar when Jaylen Brown was telling the truth. And since then, Jaylen Brown has tweeted something, and everybody is kind of, this is where a lot of the backlash was coming from. That Jaylen Brown made a tweet and seemingly walked back his statements, but I don't think he did. I think Jaylen Brown stood on, principles in the sense that he didn't call Bronny James a professional. He didn't all of a sudden say that he think Bronny James is this phenomenal basketball player. He said that it's a flex to have your dad get you into the league. That's a fact. And it's a flex that Bronny James has all of these resources around him and all these tools around him. He doesn't have the tools himself because Jaylen Brown didn't say that. If you reread the tweet, Jaylen Brown said that Bronny James has a lot of tools around him. So for him to be successful, meaning i.e. Clutch Sports, i.e. Rich Paul, and his dad. These dudes are going to control the narrative, whether Bronny James has a great game or a bad game. And, it's nasty work. It's nasty work. But Jaylen Brown, like I said, ain't say nothing wrong. I've been wanting to cover that whole Team USA situation, but other stories have been popping up, other things that I've been following. Just want to follow up on those, topics. But nonetheless, just highlighted in this video. Yes, it's a team. The Team USA snubbing of Jaylen Brown and Kyrie Irving. Look no further than Nike. And it's all because Kyrie Irving, stood on his business, and Jaylen Brown stood with Kyrie, and now they're being punished for that. So, all in all, again, man, Jaylen Brown didn't say nothing wrong, and like I say, I don't really have a problem with his tweet, readdressing this situation, because it is what it is. Bronny James has the team around him, and again, they're gonna fight tooth and nail to control the narrative around this guy. So Bronny James could literally go 0 for 100, and they're going to try to fix it up. Well, we've already seen it. We've seen it a couple times. Bronny James came out earlier in the summer league, scored 2 points, and they were complimenting how fast he was running. They was complimenting basic passes he was making, basic chest passes. So it's like they're going to find a way, to clean up the situation. They're going to find a way to keep these bronze sexuals underneath their spell. For the worst of the better word, that's the only way to explain the level of delusion that the bronzexuals have when it comes to LeBron James. Because again, LeBron James is the one that set Bronny James up for this whole situation, saying that he was better than some NBA players. Also saying that he can get rotational minutes on the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James said all of this. You know what I mean? Every time I bring it up to the bronzexuals, it's either a complete silence, or they just, what they do, man. They just change the subject all of a sudden. They start talking about another NBA rookie or something like that. The new thing is that they're talking about Jaylen Brown went 5 of 26 in his summer league debut, and they're talking about LeBron James Jr. has gone 6 of 26 in his summer league debut, and I'm like, bro, okay. The thing about it is, Jaylen Brown came into college the number 3. Came out of college into the NBA draft the number 3 draft pick. If he didn't have a good summer league, he was already, confirmed. You're not in the top 3 NBA draft picks for no reason at all. You've obviously shown a sustained level of professional basketball skills. So even if he did have a slump in summer league, the situation is totally different. Also, Jaylen Brown is what, 6'5", 6'6"? You know what I mean? The perfect NBA height, if you will. Bronny James is 6 feet, 6'1" in gym shoes. So the likelihood of Jaylen Brown being able to right the ship from going, 5 or 26, whatever they were saying, he had a much better chance just because he had an NBA body ready, in addition to his NBA ready skill set. Bronny James contains none of that stuff. Everything I just mentioned, the potential, the height, the college resume, the even the pick in the NBA draft. He's none of that stuff. Bronny James came in as a 55th pick, and everybody has all these low expectations. Well, let me say it again: the bronzexuals pretending like they got all these low expectations and low standards for him. But the man scores 12 points, and I guess, yeah, it does confirm how low their expectations is for him. Because the moment he scored 12 points, they start going crazy, twerking it up online again, acting like Bronny James is, the next coming of Michael Jordan. It's funny work, man. It's funny work, and I've said this once, I'll say it again. I truly believe that LeBron James fans will be studied. All right, maybe not in my lifetime, maybe not in my children's lifetime, but definitely somebody somewhere down the line in history is going to pick up a case study, and they're going to find all of these LeBron James fans tweets and all these LeBron James's fans videos and all this stuff, and they're going to study these people. All right, listen to me. They're going to study them, because the level of delusion you have to have. When the next generation of human beings are around, they'll have the internet, and they'll be able to look up all of LeBron James's crap. You know what I mean? They'll be able to look on YouTube and see all of LeBron James's lowlights, all of his extreme meltdowns from 2007 to 2011 to 2000, excuse me, 15 to 2017, 2018. LeBron James has had multitude of meltdowns and just lowlights and very bad moments in his career. That you have to be uh, you have to have like a childlike mind to think that this guy is somewhere near the top echelon of players. Um, it's all narrative driven with this dude, and there it goes, confirming what Enos Cantor said again. Because if LeBron James don't control the narrative, and if people are out here just saying whatever they want to say, people are allowed to tell the truth. We're going to hear a lot more guys sound like Jaylen Brown than Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp. There's gonna be a lot of people out here, and I believe after LeBron James retiring, his grip on the NBA ain't so tight. We've already seen some slippage, in the NBA media. Some of the members of the La Media have already begun to turn against LeBron James. So, um, yeah, we'll see how this thing unfolds. We'll see how this thing unfolds. And fortunately, if you are not a LeBron James fan, excuse me, if you're not a LeBron James stan, I have no qualm with legitimate LeBron James fans. The Bron sexuals is who I have a problem with. The LeStanleys is who I have a problem with. If you're not one of those guys, you are on the right side of history. And you're going to be able to say in another 10, 20 years, hey, I was right. LeBron James is a clown. Bronny James wasn't that good. And honestly, I'm going to say this now. I'm going to put my bid out there. I think Bryce James is going to be the most talented basketball player of the James family. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna be better than his dad, considering how all of the low lights his dad has had. But once again, shout out to Jaylen Brown for telling the truth. Another NBA voice saying the things that I'm saying, and it's just another confirmation that Bronny James is a good guy. He's a good kid. It seems like anyway. But when it comes down to these open waters, these deep waters called the NBA, called basketball, and then you got these, everybody's analyzing basketball now. Um, yeah, man, you know what I mean? You got to come ready or be ready to be criticized and analyzed, because that's all that's going on. Nobody's talking dirty or crazy about Bronny James' personal life or nothing like that. We're just analyzing the product that he's putting on the basketball court. But That's all I got for y'all on this video. Please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content on the channel and going live as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I go live daily, drop content daily. And last but not least, my absolute favorite part, please leave your all's thoughts and opinions in the comment section so we can have some dialogue, chop it up. Tell me what y'all think about this Jaylen Brown, Bronny James, the whole situation, man. What do y'all think about it? Other than that, I am Tony the Savant. Peace.